Let's discuss a little bit here about a seba. We're going to say about Torah here and have in mind all good things. When a person has the Seder stuff, he has to eat and drink, and he reclines, he leans the way of free people. Says the Rambam further, when does a person need haseba? When he eats the kazayas of matzah and when he drinks the 4 cups of wine. Now how about the rest of the night? The rest of the eating and drinking, like by the meal. The rest of the eating and drinking, im hesiv, harezeh meshubach. If he reclines, he is praiseworthy. Akad l'shoino. That's what ayin chaf lamed means. For future references, akad l'shoino. That's the end of his words. Says the Brisker Rav, Midivrei Rambam halalu. For these words of the Rambam, Mavur is clear. The mitzvah seseba hu mitzvah b'fnei atzmo. It's a separate mitzvah. There's an Indian called haseba. Sheyochol v'yishta b'layla zev hu meisiv derech eruch. There's a mitzvah of Seder night called haseba. Now, when did they say you should do things by haseba? Maybe you should do the kapas by haseba. No. They said the chachamim kovel mitzvah zu b'shas achilas matzah v'shtir zabakos. When did the Chazal say you should do this mitzvah of haseba? During the time when you eat the matzah and you drink the avokos. Okay? Aval kaponim mitzvah b'fnei atzmahu, but it's a separate mitzvah. There's an Indian on Pesach night to do haseba, zeichel lecherus, because now we're out, now we're freed, and you do things to show your freedom. When did the Chazal tell you to do haseba? During matzah morah. But the point that the Brisker Rav is saying from the Rambam is clearly that it's a din b'fnei atzmo. It's a separate din called a haseba, and they said that you should do a haseba during this point. But it's a mitzvah b'fnei atzmo. It's not part of the mitzvah of a matzah and avokos. Okay, so that is how he wants to learn the Rambam Shita. Now, is that for everybody else? Do the other Rishonim hold that haseba is a mitzvah b'fnei atzmo? Or maybe it's part of the mitzvah of matzah and avokos. Let's see what other Rishonim say. So let's look at the Rush. The Rush says,
we're answering why it's during this.
Well,
the
we're going to clear. This is part of a chakira. Is haseba a mitzvah b'fnei atzmo, a separate mitzvah? And Chazal told you to do a haseba during the matzah and avokos. The other part would be that it's not a din b'fnei atzmo. It's a din in the matzah and the shtiyas avokos that there should be done by haseba.
So would that mean eating the matzah with your back straight up and not leaning? Do you get
No
the
good.
mitzvah for eating?
No good.
But you get a mitzvah for eating matzah.
Okay, so we're going to explain this very well now, Bezrat Hashem, this whole idea. Very good. What happens if you don't eat Be'aseba?
You don't eat this.
You eat the matzah, but you don't lean. Like Shmuel said, your back straight.
It's probably davening
not
without
yotzei?
kavana, you know?
Okay.
Aren't you not yotzei?
So
I say you are yotzei.
let's see. Tosfos Imsachim says, Im shachach v'lo hezib im yikzeh v'yishta. He's not sure, Tosfos says, what the halacha would be if, let's say, you don't do a seber. By matzah and avokos, you have to go back. Tosfos is not sure.
In the Gada, doesn't it say that?
Okay, we're going to get to practical halacha in a second. The Rush says...
No, but I was just wondering that, like, in could be in the Agada. They're just saying that just to like be machmir or like whatever.
So let's see. So the Rosh says, the Macha Kazayis Matzah below a Seba lo yotza. The Rosh says beferish. If you eat the matzah or you drink the dalakaisis without a Seba, lo yotza, you're not good. Which is how the Shulchan Aruch paskins. That's how we paskin. Why? It's a suffix deraisa. Matzah is a suffix deraisa. Matzah is deraisa. If you have a suffix, whether or not you makayim a mitzvah deraisa, you have to do it again. You're not sure if you benched, you have to bench because it's suffix deraisa. You're not sure if you ate matzah properly because we don't know if you're passing like the Rambam or like the Rush. The Rush says lo yotza. You're not yotze. You have to go back. So the Brisker Rav wants to explain very nicely what the Rush is shita. The Rambam, we said, held that Haseba is a mitzvah b'fnei atzma. Chazal said you should do Haseba when you eat the matzah, when you drink the dalakais. But it's a mitzvah b'fnei atzma. But off the Brisker Rav, from the Rush, you see the opposite. The Rush says that if you eat matzah below Haseba, lo yotza. So over there, by the Rush, we would say the opposite. The din Haseba, we din b'kiyam ha-mitzvah shamat v'dal koises.
So how do you know that it's Maseres?
Not like we said before for the Rambam, that it's a separate din. The Chazal told you when to do Haseba. No. Haseba is not a separate din, according to the Rush. The pshat is, Chazal said to do the mitzvah of matzah and dal koises v'Haseba. Why? Because if it's not the case, why aren't you yotze? If you eat the matzah without a seba, you drink the dalakaisis without a seba, why aren't you yotze? Why would you go back and eat the matzah? Keeping the kvar kiyam and mitzvah some achilas matzah b'shleimus. Why would you go back and eat the matzah again? You already did the mitzvah of matzah b'shleimus. You ate matzah. Torah said eat matzah, you ate matzah. I didn't eat it by seba. Very nice. But if you're gonna eat matzah afterwards, that's gonna be like the rest of the matzah that we said that it's praiseworthy if you eat it. If you eat it with that seba. But the mitzvah of achilas matzah, moitzi matzah, in the middle of the seder, if you do that again a second time, you're not going to be yotzei the mitzvah of matzah again. If it's just a separate din, a seba.
So then,
Elamai,
never going to be returned. Something going to be yai.
Elamai, that
Something that doesn't have a sip.
the pshat is according to the Rush. That matzah midaraisa didn't need a seba. Chazal said no, matzah needs a seba. Dalakaisis, Gavanon, maybe it's Kain deraisa. When they were sakin, they have dalakaisis. They said have dalakaisis. Chazal said no. Chazal said the mitzvah of dalakaisis and matzah should be done by seba. But it's a din in the matzah. It's a din in the dalakaisis. How should you do this mitzvah? Do it better. Interesting machlekes Rambam and Rush. That's how the Brisker Rav wants to explain the Rambam and the Rush. The Rambam held that Haseba was a din in the matzah. It was a din in the dalakaisis. That's how you should do the mitzvah of Haseba. Remember, if you don't do it by Haseba,
It's also
okay.
considered, we're going to assume that the guy's going to be.
But you didn't. There wasn't a chesaron in the matzah. That's why you don't do it again. You understand? I'm going to explain now again clearly. The machlekes Rambam and Rush. The Rider Rambam holds that you don't eat the matzah again. Rider Rush holds that you do eat. They do eat the matzah again. The Rambam holds you don't eat the matzah again. You don't drink the dalakaisis again. Why? Because the din Haseba is not a din in the matzah. It's a separate din. The din Chazal said do mitzvahs halayla by Haseba. Tonight we're going to do things by Haseba. If you didn't do it by Haseba, what was missing? That Haseba was missing. It wasn't as they say in yeshiva.
So it's
it wasn't felt. It wasn't felt. It wasn't lacking. in the mitzvah of matzah. It wasn't felt.
Right,
I'm
without
getting, I'm getting the approval from the human life. That's already a big thing. It wasn't felt
Yeah.
in the matzah. It wasn't felt in the dalakoises.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have to do it again. But the Rosh held that what was a saber? What's a saber? Was a separate din. Chazal said, do her saber with the matzah. Do her saber with the dalakoises. So if you don't do that saber, if you don't do it properly, then we're going to say that it was felt in the matzah, or was lacking in the kiyum mitzvah of matzah.
Yeah, but just
It was lacking in the kiyum of the mitzvah of dalakoises. That's why the Rosh holds that you and I yotze, and you have to go back. The Rambam held it was a separate din. It wasn't a din in matzah. It wasn't a din in Morah. The din has a separate mitzvah. Chazal said to do it in matzah and Morah, in matzah and dalakoises. If you don't do it in matzah and dalakoises, what were you lacking? You're lacking that saber, but it wasn't felt. You weren't lacking in the mitzvah of matzah and the mitzvah of dalakoises. That's why you don't have to go back. You only have to go back and do it again if there was something lacking in the kiyum of the mitzvah of matzah. That's why the Rambam holds you don't have to go back. We pass you have to go back. You do have to go back. As Shlomo said, in Haggadah it said, you have to eat the matzah if you don't do it by Seder. Why? Because we hold like this lomdus of the Rush. That it was a din in the matzah. It was a din in the dalakoises. And therefore, if you don't do the matzah b'haseba, you have to eat the matzah again. You don't drink the dalakoises b'haseba, you have to drink it again. Why? Because according to the Rosh, we're saying that it was a felt in the kiyum of the mitzvah of matzah. It was a felt in the kiyum, lacking in the kiyum of dalakoises. That's why you have to go back.
Again, the guy just said it. I don't tell you, it's not the same thing.